color, contrast, and functionality. These three things keep this lens in constant rotation. This lens is a fighter and it refuses to lose its place in my bag. This lens will definitely go down as a legend. Today, we're talking about the Canon RF 15 to 35 millimeter 2.8 L lens. So, my relationship with this lens began when I had an opportunity to do some architectural photography and I wanted to put my best foot forward. So, I rented the 15 to 35. This was before the 14 to 35 and this was way before the 10 to 20. So this really was the only option in the RF system. But when I tell you, I knew I had made the right decision when I saw the results of this lens. The colors, the contrast were of such a high quality that I had never been able to produce before. I was simply blown away with this lens. But then I had to return it. The next opportunity that I had to shoot with it was when a friend of mine asked me to shoot an Airbnb for him. And this again is not something that I normally do, so I decided to rent the 15 to 35 again. And once again, I was blown away with the colors, the contrast, the clarity of this lens. Having the opportunity to shoot 15 millimeters opened up the door for me to shoot very small spaces and really do a good job of shooting this Airbnb. I was blown away with the 15 to 35 millimeter 2.8 L. But I had to return it again. Not too long after that, I had a wedding to shoot. And the church where the wedding was hosted was a pretty big deal. And I had seen pictures taken of it and I wanted to have my special picture of this venue. And I knew what I had to do. I had to get this lens one more time, but I knew that it was time to make a long-term commitment and purchase this lens and stop playing around and renting it. So I went ahead and purchased it and made it a full-time member of my bag. And from that point on, I've been learning about this lens, building a relationship with it, and seeing what its key points are. Where does it really shine? When do you really need it? Why is it better than some other wide focusing lenses? So I use the 15 to 35 for architectural photography, real estate photography. But for what I do, most of what I use it for is shooting rooms at events. This lens shines when I first arrive at an event and I need to get the whole room and all of the decor in one beautiful shot. Put this lens on a tripod and I tell you what, the images it produces are breathtaking. A lot of money goes into decorating these big events, and you got to get a great shot of it to let them know what they've actually done and to see how it's all put together, because really it's just one moment that you get to actually look at it, and before you know it, all the guests arrive, and before you know it, the night is done. So getting this shot for my clients is key, and the 15 to 35 millimeter does a beautiful job of capturing this moment. So why the 15 to 35 over the 14 to 35 and the 10 to 20? Well, for me, there's two answers to this. First of all, when I bought it, those two lenses didn't even exist. Secondly, I shoot people. And at the top of the focal length, it is 15 to, that's right, 35. So which means that with this lens, you're walking around with a 35 millimeter, which is a great focal length for taking pictures of people, and 2.8, which gives you that extra stop of light, which may be necessary when you're shooting in low light situations, which at events, you are gonna run into all the time. One other great thing about this lens is it takes all of the stress out of shooting large groups. There was a time when shooting large groups was stressful for me because I had a 24 to 70 and man, I would be backing up all the way to the wall and barely being able to get the whole group in the shot. With the 15 to 35 though, that is no longer a problem I can't imagine now a group that is too big for me to capture with this lens. So when you're shooting people, the 15-35 2.8 L is a great option. The last benefit is one that I didn't expect, but I've found that the Canon RF 15-35 2.8 L is a beast on the dance floor. That's right, who would have thought it? But I tell you what, when you're taking dance floor pics, oh, this lens really shows out. And the best part about it is it allows you to be in the party and have a good time yourself and be right in the mix and still get these pictures. And I would say because the nature of the pictures are so fun when you do zoom out and you do get that distortion, it's okay because they're fun, whimsical pictures. So you can even drop below the 35. You don't have to stay with the 35 and you can get some amazing pictures on a dance floor with the 15-35 millimeter 2.8 L. It should be D for dance floor. Finally, the RF 15-35 millimeter is a great video lens. Not so much if you have your microphone installed in a hot shoe on your camera, because the lens does make that purring noise while it's focusing. But if you have your microphone, on a boom mic, or, you're using a wireless transmitter receiver, then it's going to be great for your videos. I use it all the time for a lot of my videos that you've seen, and I'm actually using it right now. This whole video has been shot on the 15-35, except for the shots with the 15-35. And that actually was shot with the 35, 1.8. But anyway, listen, I found this to be a necessity in my camera bag. It's one of those lenses that I just would not want to do without. It is so versatile. The images are so beautiful, so crispy clean and clear and beautifully colored. The contrast is there. Everything that you're looking for from an L lens, this is the epitome of those things. But you know how I feel about it. Whatever you're shooting with, I just hope that you're using it, and I hope that you are enjoying it. I want to thank everybody who's been watching these videos all the way to the end. I am honored. I truly am. And I cannot wait to see you next time. You all have a great day, and peace.